Dylan, British AMA Supercross import. Mr. Dylan Woodcock, how are you, sir?
Yeah, I'm all right. Thank you. I'm all good. How are you boys?
Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, we've got the technical info trying to sort out. So yeah, thanks for your patience with that. But it's always a bit tricky. Whereabouts are you right now?
There's a little bit of a delay because I'm having to run it off my hotspot on my phone. So we're just running the hotspot for the minute.
Oh, brilliant work. No, we appreciate your efforts, mate. Yeah, it's definitely always a bit tricky. So whereabouts are you in the world right now? Whereabouts are you based?
I'm in Menifee at the minute in California. He cut from California Motocross days. Obviously, used to have the house here on the new house owner's land. So just renting it off them and just done the first 3 rounds. But not sure what's happening this weekend or what's going on yet. So after this, I'm gonna know a little bit more.
Of course, because it's Eastern round, isn't it? Now it's they go to a couple of East rounds. So what would you normally do in that sense?
I coached only 4 rounds this year, and the rest are like quite far away. And I'm out here on my stretch to be driving 8 hours, 10 hours in your own racing and coming back just in case. In any other places, you never know what can happen. Supercrosses. I'm actually going to sell my bike here now. I mean, I've done the first race, was all right, but the main, I was pretty. I had a problem with my shock. And then those Triple Crown races, they obviously didn't do too good in that. And so yeah, I'm planning to go back, but I had a phone call earlier on about doing to see what happens.
About doing what, sorry?
This weekend, I think someone's got hurt somewhere, so I'm not sure if I'm going to go back to maybe race here. I'm not sure.
So, I mean, yeah, you keep your ear to the ground. You could well be on the Pro Circuit Kawasaki squad by the sounds of it.
I think everyone's screaming for that ride.
Yeah. Nice one. Just got to do a quick name check from that side. So yeah, this podcast brought to you by AS3 Performance, home of aftermarket motocross and enduro parts, from hard-wearing protection parts, including skid plates and radiator braces, to performance cooling parts, including silicone radiator hoses and oversized impeller kits. AS3 also have a huge range of brake, clutch, and gear levers, all with different features and adjustability. Check them out online at www.as3performance.co.uk. We're also fueled by Gulf Race Fuels and fully supported, as all of MX Vice's output is, by Even Strokes. So get your kit or any of your motocross needs from evenstrokes.com. So so Dylan, so the plan was how many Supercrosses this year? 4, did you say? Or
my plan was gonna do the first 4 and then have a little look, and then obviously so it was a long stay, and I didn't want to be staying here any longer than March, because I would have liked to got back to and earn a bit more money to get going, to move the race, and it was staying like a whole nother month just to do one race. So I was going to try to get back home, and then I think a few of the boys got injured at arena. A few phone calls getting called up there, and I asking to go do that, so I might go do that. Just need to make sure I can make everything work here before I just get up and leave, you know.
Was that the American Arena Cross Series?
No, over here.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, obviously we've had a few injuries, haven't we?
See.
Yeah.
Chrissy been hurt. A few other people been bashed up, crashing everywhere. So I'm not sure what the plan is yet. But if I go, I guess I would ride a 450, or because everyone's riding them. But we'll see. So we'll just see what happens.
Sure. No
nice.
Worries. Brad, go.
No, it's obviously they've had a few injuries, so it'll be good to get some more riders back out there. The gates were looking a bit thin towards the end of the night.
Yeah, Chris and Matt Bayliss actually both had 250s set up. So Chris did his knee on the Saturday, and then I'm not sure what happened. Well, not sure what Matt did to himself, but he walked off rather groggily and turned down a Jeff Parrott interview in front of the stadium. So yeah, obviously he didn't feel too great. There was 6 people in the LCQ at a gate of 10. So yeah, not ideal. But you've done that sort of series before, Dylan. Would you fancy your chances against the sort of top British motocross boys?
Yeah, I mean, I've done that my whole life.
Yeah.
When it was called Future West when I was 6, so I've been doing it for like over a decade. I think there was maybe some years there where I never even missed it. Like tight, and people do crash, and people do upset other people. That's just, I mean, if I go around the M25 and pass someone up the inside, it's at 6 p.m. I know it's tight, isn't it? It's the same on arena cross track. It's exactly the same. It is what it is. I'm excited to come there, and if I do, what it is, I'll go to Wembley as a spectator and have a few beers and.
Nice one.
Yeah. No, should we talk
Did you race
Supercross?
Bradley then? Sorry, did you race?
Pardon?
Did you guys race each other in the arena cross?
Yeah, I think so. A couple of years ago in the Pro Lights.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, go on, Brad. You're going to say something?
No, I was going to say, should we talk Supercross?
Yeah, better up. Yeah, that's what we're here for. SMX review show. Yeah. Yeah, good stuff. So yeah, obviously, first off, just to run through the 450 class. I don't know how much of it you can watch on a triple header sort of night, but yeah, an incredible night in both classes. But the 450s, first chink in Eli's armor. How did you see it going down, Dylan?
I watched. Obviously, I didn't make the main, so I watched and stayed and watched the last race. And yeah, I thought Tomac he's very good. The track was weird. It was doing the same rhythms apart from that rhythm that the boys started doing. Like you could go 3 on, 1 off, 4. And,
yeah, the big tables.
Excuse me. That was the only bit that we could make really time. The whoops were pretty even, 8 of the whoops. So it was definitely different. Races that go by fast. So people like Ken Roxon and that get good starts, they normally end up pretty good. So, but I thought Tomac was getting got really lucky, but he's, to be fair, at the practice track or on a motocross track, he's and like the bike, the way it rides around the track looks evil to ride, but and then it seems to be working with him pretty good.
Yeah, there was a fantastic video I saw of the MotoGP champ or ex-champ now, Fabio Quartararo, in the Yamaha pit, pushing down Tomac's suspension at the back, and it barely moved. Did you see that? And is that what most of your bikes are like?
Like that, I actually think his front forks are really solid, which is odd because then it would dive more in the whoops. But he seems to be pretty grounded. If you watch their bikes, they're quite soft. But yeah, just watching and listening while doing bike work and stuff like that, they all say that type of stuff. So when you watch it and it actually looks a bit different, it's tough for people like that to know the difference. So I'll just get the suspension and whack it in, but options, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So at any point did anyone think Ken was going to pull it out of the bag and get the win? He was looking good going into that third main event.
Yeah. To be fair, he seems to be getting better and better. I think the more he does a bit of testing and stuff like that, I think he'd get better. A race soon, and I think as soon as he wins one, I think that'll just get his confidence back up.
Yeah, I'm not entirely convinced with Roxon, I must be honest. I mean, he did had a great bit of defense there to hold off. Held off Tomac for quite some time there, and also did. Obviously had 3 good sort of results. But I don't know if he's really. I think that X factor that sort of set him apart a bit on the Honda on occasion has kind of gone a bit. I don't know. I can't see Ken winning more than 1 or 2 in the year. Certainly championship I don't think is there, but I mean that's my opinion. I don't know. I might get a big backlash from a lot of because he gets a lot of hits every time he gets featured, and yeah, it's pretty incredible. So, but yeah, with Roxon, I mean, fingers crossed. I mean, we're all here. I mean, we're on this side of the Atlantic, always cheering on a Euro rider, hoping that that Kane will do it. He's a nice guy. Spoke to him at World Supercross, saw him fall over a tough block, which was hilarious in the track walk. But yeah, for somehow I just can't see him really nailing it against those guys every year, every week.
Yeah, you never
Don't know. What do you think,
You never know.
He's I don't think he's going to win the title, but yeah, a few race wins, like 2 or 3. That triple on and then the triple off onto the other table. That you don't do that unless you're feeling comfortable.
Yeah, well, that was genius bit of riding for sure.
Yeah, I mean, obviously you're doing a different rhythm to everyone else, so you're out of like the line that's getting beaten up. You're on a smoother bit of track, and it was obviously difficult because you saw Tomac just weed himself in the last one. Yeah, I think if he gets at the start and like people like Tomac get buried a little bit, and he's so explosive in those first few laps that
yeah,
I can see him just pulling a gap and then just sort of just riding it home. Yeah, I mean, I felt probably catch him, but he seems to ride a lot more defensive. He's a lot more defensively well against everyone else, unless it's Barsha. But
yeah.
What's your
That's
take on
funny.
it?
He's going to be nervous because when he done his arms and stuff like that, he got pushed him back even further. So he's always going to be a little bit nervous around some riders because he knows he gets out of the carnage.
Yeah.
And yeah. I mean, to be honest, I think it'll be a part and Cooper and Mac, and I think kind of Jason Anderson and are going to just be hovering there, and then either going to kind of get in the fight by messing up and them two kind of clashing or something like that. I think it'll be a bit of a weird people winning because there's so many people that are fast between first and second, and the massive gap between third, fourth, fifth. They're all pretty much, you know what I mean? So yeah, I think he's decent. Should be good fun.
Yeah. I think Sexton put himself back in the map, didn't he? Back himself in solid title contention after this weekend. That was a real nice showing, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think
he's a good rider.
Yeah, there's not. I think between sort of Sexton, Anderson, Webb, and Tomac, there's not a lot in it. Tomac was kind of looking like the guy, but I think that crash shows that he's not like unbeatable, and there is a little chink in his armor. I think when he starts battling with riders like Cooper Webb and Jason Anderson, and he doesn't just blow by him, they try and go back past him, throw him out of his groove a little bit. That's when he starts making those little mistakes, and bit him in that last one. That could have been a season ender if he would have missed those tough blocks and went onto the concrete.
It was a scary old crash, straight onto the tough blocks. I mean, he kind of lucked out by landing back onto the next tough block along. But I felt like it was a crash of like pure frustration that he couldn't get by. Is that how you read it, Dylan?
It was always like it's quite sticky Anaheim and on the track. So I think he just got the rut wrong to the edge, and then in the tough blocks when you hit them things, you go. Luckily, he went kind of over and onto the, because then either go left, right, or you just keep riding the tough blocks until you. I think he got lucky, and he's obviously he's on the top of his game, and he's not had many injuries, so he's all brand new.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And Cooper Webb had another Cooper Webb kind of day, didn't he? Just sort of there, always there, and just like rock solid. Although, didn't quite get to the podium in the end. But I think he's definitely more of a threat this year than last. Do you think with Cooper?
Yeah, that seventh in the first one really sort of hindered his overall position because he went 7.42. If he could have turned that into another second, he'd have been second overall, or tied for the win. So he's probably kicking himself a little bit with that. But yeah, you could see he was getting more comfortable as the races went on. Same with Sexton. The last race he was just the out and out fastest. He was behind Anderson, and Roxon just passed them and took off. I really thought Anderson was going to have a bit more for him speed wise, but didn't even get a chance to go back at him.
That's right. Yeah, it was...
Go on, with a lag. So when you talk, I'll always talk after Brad. With a lag, so it's not so great. But all of the people ride the track. I mean, it's different when you're here and you actually see it. It's I don't know. You say it, like in between the rhythms. If it's right, it's always right, and it only takes you to literally blink your eyes the other end of the rut, and I think you just obviously got caught out with that. And it's the same for all riding. They're all on the top of their game, but all they have to do is literally turn on and bomb it. It bites you straight in the ass. So I think it would be in the 450 class.
There's such a knife edge in there. I mean, like I say, you saw that Anderson like near miss. It was like, wow, that's like just so close. But yeah, amazingly he saved it, to be fair.
Yeah.
So anyone else in the 450s were thinking? Obviously, a big shame that Malcolm Stewart missed the event. I'm not sure if has anyone heard any news on Malcolm, if he's going to be back for this weekend at Houston.
I heard knee.
Yikes!
Don't know the extent of it, but I mean, obviously it'd be good if he's back for Houston, but doesn't look too great. I think Savacci's looking for that as a fill-in ride by the signs of it, from what I've heard on other podcasts. So
okay,
yikes. Yeah, I mean, I think he's Savacci's deserving of it. 10th overall on Privateer, beat Craig Nichols. They're both on factory bikes. I don't think he would do any worse than Malcolm.
No, for sure. Interesting. Because Malcolm is like challenging for the win at Anaheim. So do you think think Savacci gets that bike? He gets up top 3, 5?
I don't know about Savacci riding that bike. I don't think he fits in there very well. I think Savacci just needs to stick to the watch money as he can, because I think he's making a nice little chunk of money at the minute. Up's good.
Okay.
He's still riding for that Summit team, so you never know closed doors. But I think he's got quite a cool little thing going on there. But he could jump on that and do really good, and it could spike something on him what he's doing. But I think he's better. I think he could be like a big world supercross like long term rider, because I think he fitted in well there. He doesn't mind travelling. So it's good for him to travel around while he's got a young car. Yeah,
of course, and he had a good result at Melbourne, didn't he? So you'd think the World Supercross got to be on his radar. Just on that.
He still rides.
Go on. Go on. After you.
Go on. It's my hot spot. Yeah, I don't know if not, because obviously they have so many riders anyway, don't they? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And the 250 guy, he's just broke his shoulder or something, didn't he? So, I think that for this spot, then feel someone that they've already got. It's mad. I've done it. Like some kid, he got hurt on us. Obviously, was riding Suzuki in England, and I bought gas because that was my choice. And then a kid, he got hurt on a Suzuki out here to ride for the team, and that's what you do, because sometimes the opportunity that you could get on a team, and it only takes someone that's a Varchi or to a B team or a factory team or something like that, and they could just be really sorry for you or see you done a good result and think, you know what, give this kid or survive. But you never know until you ask, and it's quite like that out here. Like you have your nose in and get your name in, otherwise it doesn't hat just because you're Savachi or whoever you are. Do you know what I mean? You have fence in every time. It's strange. So different to that English way. Or
I think it just seems a case of getting your foot in the door at a factory team and just putting together just a few good results or just showing a bit of flash, and then they'll re-sign you. I mean, he was unfortunate in his rookie year, the year after Cinderella was coming up, so he was always going to be one and done. But if anyone else had the rookie year like he did, he would have re-signed him. But it just seemed he's obviously just been trying to get back in that factory door ever since. And I think with a 10th on a privateer bike, he's clearly capable. It's not a question of speed, I don't think.
Talking about like privateer bikes and stuff like that, I think it doesn't really matter what you ride. I think you can ride anything and just kind of buy all the stuff they have that's decent. And most of these guys like Hill and Dean and they're also, it's only really the motor that's the difference. It's a bit different in the 450 class. It's 17 rounds and it's a big scale of sponsorship. It's a bit more. It's a bit more. I don't know how you say it. It's a bit more ghetto, isn't it? You see,
affordable, like
just do you know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think.
And now
Obviously the 450s now they're so good just out the box. It's more the benefit of the factory is now you just have the knowledge of so many people around you, like a suspension guy, a motor guy, a sprocket guy. Just you got a guy for everything. Whereas
that was one thing. Go on.
You're on one of the smaller teams. You just have like maybe just your mechanic and like a tech guy, and you kind of putting your heads together and say this is what I want to do, and you're trying to find it. Whereas the factory guy is like, I want to do this, right? That's what we've got to do. And just like they seem to have obviously a bigger network to work with.
Well, there's one thing at World Supercross which made quite a few people laugh in the pre-race press conference at Cardiff, where Chad Reed said that suddenly he had to buy a kit bag for World Supercross because he never had one. It was always just in the team truck. So we lost it. Oh, there you go. So that was just, everyone was like, really? You got to buy a kit bag, like, where's world's smallest violin? But there you go.
Yeah,
you got it sorted. You dropped out there, Dylan. Everything okay?
Button by accident. I think I pressed V or something, and then it said disposable camera. I'm trying to get better at all this high tech stuff. I'm not.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, we're doing the best. We'll soldier through it. It's all good. So on the slight subject, there's popped up World Supercross. So you signed up for the whole 6-round series this year. What are your thoughts on that?
I wish I could do a little world tour trip. That'd be amazing. I'd love to. I don't know. I haven't been offered anything or spoke to a few people. I message everyone all around the world. To be honest, I'll ride anything, anywhere, anytime, any place. I'd go wherever. I see it's in that Indian Supercross. Have you seen that?
Yeah. That looks wild. You fancying a bit of that, are you?
Yeah, I fancy a bit of that. I know. I messaged them, see what they were saying. They got dates and stuff coming out soon. So yeah, even I might be
yeah. That's they're all outside, aren't they? And they're me and Aaron Booker were watching it, and we emailed the promoter guy, and he was like super keen to get us out there. He did have no idea we were, but
they've got some money, you know.
Oh yeah, there's money to be made out there.
They've got some. Yeah, definitely. So I messaged a couple of teams, but I haven't heard anything back. I spoke to an Australian team, just the actual Australian Championship, but I haven't heard anything back. But and if anyone get hurt or they need someone struggling for a guy, I'll be making sure I'll be jumping on a flight within a couple of hours, and if it won't, that's it. So we'll see what happens.
Rider for hire.
Yeah.
Book this man.
Yeah. I
Good
have
stuff.
booking, so yeah.
Yeah, well, fill the books up. Brilliant.
Yeah,
that'd be cool if you could see at Wembley. That'd be really good because I think the way Arena Cross is going, there might be definitely be a place on the grid for you.
Sure, I'll make it exciting. Don't worry about
that.
Yeah. Good stuff. So 250s. 250s was at last. So Jet, it's not going to go perfect through the season. Like at last, we saw Jet make a mistake and something a bit interesting happening at the front. Although we kind of brought it back to status quo in the third race there. But yeah, pretty wild one. Obviously, RJ Hampshire looked very strong in the first one, and then the second one. I mean, I don't know. Did you see his crash, Bradley? It just looked like he just did not make sure of his line through that sandy section. It just
I think he was obviously didn't get the start, was trying to push through the pack, and I mean RJ does what RJ does, and got a bit buckward in the sun, hand come off, and that was it. That was all she wrote, and down the track he went. It was a big old get off. He was lucky to walk away from it. But yeah, and then I think he must have rung his bell a little bit because the third main event, he definitely wasn't the same RJ as the first one. Like he crashed in the whoops and making a lot of little errors. Ended up 13th. Not what you want to do when Jet is obviously having a bit of an off night. You really need to capitalize on Jet Lawrence making these mistakes because they are far and few between. And same for McAdoo. I mean, did you see his arm? It was
there were some bad pictures, man. Yeah, that was an awful swelling on his arm. Yeah, I think we've all had a few of those. Dylan, I know you probably had a few more knocks than myself anyway. But how do you think the 250s are shaping up? I mean, behind Lawrence is interesting, but yeah, do you think Jet's going to go like all the way when he goes to 450?
Yeah, I hadn't watched too much of him until this weekend because obviously I was racing myself, so I hadn't watched. But I watched. He done that. I don't know what the camelback thing was. It was wasn't even a camelback. It was more like a gerbil back.
It wasn't like 3 up, 1 down.
Do you know what I mean?
It was
weird.
The one that Tomac and Sexton and Webb were just launching.
Yeah, that's what Jet done. Jet was the first guy to do it. So you went off the bottom one and tried over. So it was so it was there. It was good to watch and see him do that little league of his own. I think when I don't think when he has a perfect guy, he's a bit of that perfect thing, and then he's still young. And even when I was on EMX, and we was young, and he's still young now. Still young, but like we've been around for a long time now, racing on two gasping to get on a 450 and have a different week and stuff like that. He's probably been doing the same stuff for like 3 years now, hasn't he? So class was very, very stacked, but there was a battle going through, and it's been difficult this year. Like even like some of the guys that made, you must have got faster, you must have been doing this throughout the year, and some of the kids have got faster. So I feel like it's quite stacked. I feel like they'll kind of get more like the veteran type guys that have been around, like the Jerry Robbins, and been around and done it a million times. You know what I mean? I feel like East is more also, but it's more rookies and stuff like that also.
Yeah, well, like Mitchell Oldenburg, he's been in the class for probably near on 10 years, and he's like 4th overall. Like Pierce Brown, he's been in the class longer than what most people think. Or Phil Nicoletti's like 50.
Nicoletti with those lights. What's that all about?
Yeah,
I didn't see that. I didn't know what that is.
It's apparently.
I was hoping you'd got a close up of it though.
It's a light. They put it on a couple of bikes and they turn it on when the person's in the lead. Apparently, it's like a thing they're trialing, to make it easier to identify the leader.
Okay.
Yeah, because if you notice, as soon as Kitchen went by him or Styles went by him, it went straight off.
Okay, I see. Interesting.
Yeah, yeah.
I think
I
think they could do with that arena cross because Conrad was moaning about no blue flags last week.
Yeah.
So that'd be cool.
Yeah.
That's a nice one.
Yeah, I think the main event too. It was just pandemonium, wasn't it? It was like
total chaos.
Phil was in the lead, and it was like there was a sniper up in the stands. Just whoever was in second, they just popped him off, and he was just riding around at the front. He got up to like a 6-7 second lead at one point, and then obviously Levi and Stars caught him in the end. But to get a podium, I think he's got to be pretty stoked with that.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I mean, for a while there, I thought even Max Bowden was going to get up the top. I mean, it was all over the place, that race.
Yeah.
But was it that treacherous to the soil, Dylan? Do you think that's what was catching everyone out?
It was done the Monster Jam and stuff like that on the track. It was definitely a bit rockier and a little bit more, and obviously they water it, so it makes it like it's a weird sort. It bakes, and then it obviously absorbs so much moisture. A week's worth of that's it. It's just like a week's worth of moisture, and then it's dried out of dirt, to be honest. But I thought the track was great. Right up nice. That's always shaded, like that first corner, like rhythm shaded, so it's always kind of rutty throughout there. So I think that's why you saw a couple people cross jumping, obviously doing the crashes down there this weekend, which wasn't very good because there was a lot of ruts in between the jumps. So I thought it was a good track though, definitely.
Yeah, it was a nice layout. I thought the way they jumped over the start, the weird start loop, and they jumped over it several times. That was quite a nice setup, I thought.
Yeah, no, it was decent. It was good.
Yeah,
nice one. So
really cool.
With the East lineup going. Oh, sorry, go on.
No, yeah, I was just saying that it's nice to see them obviously do different things with the tracks rather than just sort of like typical up and down. Like jumping across the start straight, the little weird dragon's back hump thing off after the finish, and it's cool to see in rhythm sections where you get the people like Ken Roxon, Eli Tomac that are able to do a big rhythm that obviously not everyone's doing. When everyone just does the same rhythm, it gets a bit boring, and it's obviously harder to make up time. But obviously you can, if you want to take the risk, there's big rhythms to do, and it's better for the fans, I think, personally, watching it on the telly anyway.
For sure. I mean, with the 250s, Dylan, do you find there's sometimes that you just got to push that bit harder to do the rhythms that the 450s do, so you get more differences in how people are doing the sections?
Of course, the rhythms are always the rhythms at the test tracks are obviously beat up, and then the rhythms at deep, and so it does take a little bit of time to get used to it. Definitely.
Yeah.
And if you actually had some.
I was just going to say the Supercross triple. I think it's after the first rhythm. Jet was making up so much time by jumping to the inside and doing the triple from the inside before the sand.
Yeah.
And I think they caught onto it like in sort of main 2 and main 3, but he was just eating into RJ's lead doing that, probably like nearly half a second just on that one corner where RJ was going out wide to do the triple. Jet was able just to roll through that inside and get over it. Just he just picks up on little things.
Yeah, absolutely. We've actually had a question through from Greg Wilcox on Facebook, so thanks for putting that through live on Facebook. A question for yourself, Dylan, and it's about this rhythm sections there. How hard was it to do what Ken and Eli were doing on the weekend, that hump jump on to jump on sort of scenario? How difficult is that to do?
I think it's very difficult because I've only done it, so so you didn't see no one else do it. And to be jumped like that, you never really see that because the off has like a lip on it. So it's an unusual jump. But yes, obviously he's ever done anything like that, like jumping over a whole rhythm onto with did Tomac do it once or twice as well?
Yeah,
he was trying
to do it when he fell off, wasn't he? Like
he was tripling on, and then just stepping off and then doing that big quad. But a couple of times, the first time he tried to step off onto the table, he cased the shit out of it. And then I think he did it one more time and actually did it, and then the next lap he went down. And then he didn't. I don't think he bothered again.
So I mean, there's a weird one. I mean, that's one of the weird things about Roxon again, isn't it? I mean, again, you say about his history with the hand injuries and how much sort of that might bring in a slight bit of fear factor when he's battling with someone, but yet he'll do a crazy jump like that no one else is doing, like no problem. So what's that all about?
I don't know. Sometimes you just feel different, and there's just some people like it, some people don't. Like there's some people that only got to learn. That some people are really good at doing one lap, and then when it's great, and there's other people. But I'm kind of like this. I'm not so good at doing one lap pretty good. So like Triple Crown for me is not very great, and then others it's good. It's all different. It's all the way different styles of riding, and yeah, that's kind of just where it's at the minute. It's so to work that out, that bit that you just said.
Yeah. Do you like Triple Crowns? Obviously, you just said like the one lap.
You don't.
Speed thing is not.
I just don't.
You'd rather do like a heat race.
I feel like the one lap thing's just crazy to me. Like one lap, bomb's done.
Yeah.
To go in to then do something, so then you race a couple of the riders, and then wherever you the main event. But the Triple Crown's odd, so some people it suits rider preference really. But like obviously going back to what you just said about Ken, he obviously was on his own in front of people and just managed to do that jump. All that things happen like that, and it starts clicking, and then you start trying to take little bits, and sometimes it bite you in the ass, and sometimes it don't. I've had it bad.
You've had it both ways.
Yeah, you can feel so great on a bike. Like one day you probably both ride it one day and you feel mint, and then you go back the next day and you're like, oh, I don't feel as good. Sometimes that day when you're mint, you try something that you think you don't normally do. There, you kind of push the boat a little bit and done a jump that no one's done, but you come off good with that myself. If I tried that on my day, I'd probably be in the back of a van.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I think, one question comes. Go on.
Just another point on the Triple Crowns. Obviously, if you're like Cameron McAdoo, RJ Hampshire, and Jet Jet doesn't really make mistakes. So obviously he drops when that was his own fault. That if that was a normal main event, that's like potentially 5 points that you could claw back on it. Whereas the Triple Crown, he's obviously still got he's still well within the hunt for the overall with a third. And again, like he obviously like a sixth in a normal main event. That can be disastrous in an 8-race series when you've got like McAdoo going like 2-2-2-2 or whatever.
To be honest, it's the crown. And there's normal races, then there's whatever the thing is at the end. Just need to stick to Supercross done, because there is a load of races for crown for the 450s. It's not 250s because there's only 4 or 5 races of each coast these years. There's not a lot of races in like the western region, if that makes sense, like around California area. But yeah, I'm not a fan. I hope they get rid of it, to be honest.
Fair enough. I think Jet's with you, to be honest, after this weekend.
Yeah, I hope they get rid of
it. Just for thoughts there, moving up to Houston this weekend, I've had somebody ask me as well what your thoughts might be on Max Anstey's chances.
Yeah, I think Max riding really good. MTF, as I've heard of MTF, big whoops, hard training, hard training. So someone like Max, he's a perfectionist. I mean, I've tried to swerve, and he's the same. He's a perfectionist. You know what I mean? Like the things you learn from a young age, you still use now. So yeah, I think obviously the first round you never know how anyone's going to do. But I could definitely see him having a couple like solid results. Definitely.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
I don't know. It all about stack. Like, I know Max is on the 250, and it's been a few years since he's raced. Like Jordan Smith, Jeremy Martin, all them like they're definitely going to be on the podium.
I think
if all goes well.
I think obviously with the injuries we've had with Shimoda and Seth Hamaker, Jalik Swoll, I think the tracks like Daytona and those Atlanta tracks, I think they'll suit Max quite well, because he's I mean, you've seen it when he's done the outdoors over there on the 450. He's like instantly straight up in the mix. And they seem a bit more outdoorsy. I think they'll suit him a bit better. And yeah, obviously with some of the top boys going out injured, it really opens the door for people sort of in Max's position that would be knocking on that top 5. You're then knocking on that top 3.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the heavier it gets, the better it is for Max every time, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, you think that sand section this weekend, you think he'd probably make up that 3 seconds going through there each lap?
Yeah, it got very carved out, that, didn't it? I mean, was it as soft as it looked?
Yeah, it was definitely soft on the underneath, because obviously they put sand on the first. Obviously, it just goes down to the hard ground. So yeah.
Is it obviously if you were going to ride a sand track, you'd probably set your suspension up like a little bit softer, whereas your Supercross suspension is pretty firm compared to like motocross stuff. Can you sort of really feel the difference when you go into like a sand corner or through like that sand section?
I've got that too, because last time I rode sand was probably on an 85, so I couldn't tell. I honestly couldn't. I couldn't. Yeah, I haven't rode sand in ages. I've rode hard pack, and obviously it's a lot different. It's a bike stock and just ride it. I did 125, and I rode it at the British, and track. It felt great, but on a track where there's faster riders, but Supercross suspension, arena cross suspension, all suspension is going to be different before you go, because arena cross is soft, so you got to have a bit of it. And then here it's bigger jump, so it can be all different, you know.
Yeah.
And that East Championship lineup, obviously, it's been injury hit across the board. But just looking quickly through some of the entries there, you got Michael Mosman, definitely got to be a bit of a favourite for the Gas team. Do you know much about his prep at all? Don't know if you've seen much about him.
No. To be honest, I don't know anyone that's on that coast doing it. If I'm honest, I haven't even looked. I've had my head. I've not even really looked. I've just been slammed out here doing my thing.
You've got to think that Moseman and Jeremy Martin are probably the two favourites to challenge Hunter. I think Hunter's the favourite going in.
Yeah, for sure.
But obviously, Jeremy Martin's on the Club MX bike now. It's kind of the first time he's not been on what you'd say a full factory team. And then Moseman he gets a little loose from time to time as well. He's like similar to like RJ and McAdoo. Like he's blistering fast, but could easily clip a tough block.
Check it out.
But
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think we'll see more winners on the east than west. Definitely.
Yeah, it'd be tough to get fewer, wouldn't it? But, and then one wild card, Tom Vial. How do you think he's going to do moving across from Europe? First year in the Supercross. What do you reckon?
I've heard he's been crashing his brains out.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh dear.
I've heard he's been crashing. It's expected, isn't it? Imagine going from like being that high up, doing something, trying to learn something new with a load of other fast kids that you probably you don't want to get beat by them, and they're all fast as you, and you're on this factory bike. Expect a few crashes.
Yeah.
But I heard he's had a couple crashes, but I think he'll be good. I think he'll be good in heat races. So I think rolling around in a 10th, 15th spot would be his kind of. I think you never know. He could just come out and do really good.
Smoke
it on the podium.
Yeah, I think I kind of see him doing like similar to what Marvin Muscan did when he first came over. Like he was sort of between that 5th and 10th in his first year. He's obviously a 2-time world champion, same as Tom Vial. Both French, both ride the bike quite similarly, sort of very technically sound. And obviously, again, another one I think he'll benefit from the Daytona and the Atlanta rounds, where they're a bit more motocross-esque, a bit faster, a bit more spendy. Yeah, I think I could see him getting a podium at like Atlanta or Daytona. He's quick out the gate is what the advantage he's got. He's no stranger to a whole shot for sure, and leading from the front. He's really good at leading from the front. So yeah, I think I can see him. I could see him whole shot in every race, to be honest. But
there's nothing new there. That's what he was doing in Grand Prix.
Exactly. That's it.
Incredible. Yeah, and shorter start straights now. Powerful bike as well. So I mean, do you notice a difference in some of those? I mean, you said the factory bikes were much different in like sort of 450 level, but do you notice some of the 250s are a bit quicker than others, or not really?
I think so. Whoever's got bigger pockets. If you've got deep pockets, you don't. You just have a B motor and get a piston and ignition, and off you go. It's the same with anywhere around the world. Car racing, you've got deep pockets.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Nice one. So we're looking forward to Houston then. I mean, have you got much else there, Brad? What do you think's going to happen this weekend? Apart from the coffee guts up. Stick it on mute, Brad. Hang on, while Brad's just killing himself, Dylan,
he smoked fags? Must be smoking fags or something.
It's too much Chesterfield Yamaha's going on.
One of those LMBs.
So what did you say? Didn't quite catch it at the beginning there, Dylan. You've got your plans are a bit up in the air. Then you don't quite know what's happening in the next few weeks. Or the rest of the year.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't race in much motocross. I know that. But I might ride a little bit. I'm gonna try to buy a bike. Speaking, I'm definitely gonna try to buy a bike just so when I come back here, I'm not just like. But I'm not sure yet. We'll see if I can. I'm gonna after I get off this, I gotta go rented and pay the rent, and then come back here and try to see if I can change my flight, and everything's good, and I can get back to England to race. Then not, and that's that. Then I'll maybe just race Wembley, but I'd like to win a bit more money. Be better for. Should be good. And it's another race, another venue, different fans. I think it looks right into the arena cross and do pretty good.
So that's the arena cross this side of the pond, yeah? Arena cross UK.
Yeah. See what happens. I'm gonna give that Taylor a ring. That's running the team, all them boys. So see how they go. See what they're up to, and see whether we can make it happen or not. So we'll see.
Nice one. Good stuff.
Hopefully
I might see you with the air.
Sorry,
Bradley. Go on. How you doing now? You good?
Did I hear that Deegan was possibly doing the East Coast? I thought I heard them say that on the broadcast on a Saturday night. That Deegan was doing.
Normally, me and my girlfriend watch his vlogs, but I haven't done them. So they, I'm not sure if he normally says in that what he's up to and all stuff like that. So
yeah.
So yeah.
Because obviously he did the Futures Saturday. I can't imagine it went how he thought it was going to go.
Yeah.
Obviously crashing on that weird Dragon's Back thing. Yeah.
People were saying he's going to smoke everybody, weren't they?
I think
we'll see this weekend if he turns up.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. The only thing he's smoking is a L&B with me at the moment.
Yeah. Sounds like it.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't. I think if he was contemplating like and in it, I think I'd probably knock it on the head for another couple of weeks because he didn't. He looked like he was riding over his head a little bit.
Yeah, a bit bummed out, wasn't he? Perhaps. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
Can't see to get me out straight in a minute. Oh, there we go. Right. Yeah. So 450s this weekend. Any predictions, anyone? What do you reckon?
I think I see. I think Wilson's going to pull out another win. He's obviously went 151 into momentum on his side. I think Tomac will just be looking to get things back rolling. I think he'll be happy with a podium going on the East Coast. So yeah, I think Sexton.
Cool, nice one. Dylan.
I reckon. No, Webb. I think Webb will do good this weekend because I think Webb.
Yeah, good at the more East Coast tracks. Do you think? Yeah, where it gets a bit more carved up.
I think he'll do good. Definitely do good.
Cool.
Yeah, well, I think Tomac's still leading. The points 69 over Sexton and Webb both on 65. So yeah,
close.
Roxon's only 11 back. So
true.
Yeah,
not much in it really.
What to play for?
Yeah, boys, I'm gonna have to go. It's just started absolutely tipping it down, and I've got all.
Yeah.
You sure? Okay, yeah, right, I'll let you go over that. All right, that's great. Yeah, no problem at all, Dylan. Yeah.
Just absolutely hammer. Oh my God.
Go for it. Dylan, thanks so much for joining us, mate.
Right. Boys, thanks.
Been a pleasure.
Cheers, mate.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Bye, mate. Bye.
Ta-da. Yeah.
I'm not sure if he just instructed his mate to hose pipe the window, but we'll see.
Yeah. But 250s is still Jet's still got a nice little cushion. Got a 16-point lead.
They got 2 weeks off.
Is it 2 weeks? Is it?
Yeah, it isn't. Yeah, because we've got Max the following week, haven't we?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Where is it this weekend? Is it
this weekend's Houston,
and then Tampa? Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, and then
Cameron.
Gone.
Oh yeah, then back to Oakland, isn't it?
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
we apparently could well have Mr. Anstey with us in a couple of weeks' time. Fingers crossed.
Yeah, be good.
Be nice.
But
Good stuff.
yeah, I think Jet. I don't think Jet's stressing. I mean, obviously, he still finished second overall. He still beat his main championship competitors.
Still pulled away from everyone.
He's 16 up on McAdoo, 17 up on Hampshire. I mean, if you're a Jet, you're probably welcoming the little break. Just look at it, see what went on in this weekend at the Triple Crown, rectify those mistakes, and if you're McAdoo in Hampshire, you're thanking God, thanking Allah that you've got some time off.
Yeah, trying to heal those wounds, isn't it? I mean, it's going to be McAdoo again. I mean, just riding like an Iron Man with those injuries to do what he did is like, you got to stand back and applaud that kid. That's absolutely incredible. So,
if you're a Mitch Payton, you've got to be pulling your hair out, aren't you, watching him when he weaves himself in the whoops in qualifying, thinking, oh my God, I've got no riders left.
Such a shame because Joe was looking so strong, looking like a real challenge to Hunter in the East. That could have been fantastic. Seth Hammaker was making real progress as well. You know, so second or third year for Seth, isn't it? I think this year, was that right?
I think his first year ended before it even started. I think in qualifying. Right. Then last year, I think he had a pretty all right year. Yeah, obviously injured again. It sucks. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it really does.
A shame. Yeah, especially for Joe.
Yeah, I mean, it thins out the field a bit for the likes of Vial, doesn't it? And Max to get in there, I think. So, we're certainly hopeful there for the European boys. But, also just be good to see if Mosman and Jeremy Martin can challenge Hunter Lawrence and see if he can make a bit of a championship of it. That'd be good to see.
Yeah, I think just want J Mark to stay healthy for the outdoors, really. That's like his bread and butter. But, I think Mosman is very going to see the main threat for Hunter, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's a carbon copy of the West, and he's just sort of out front, clicking off his laps, looking like he's at 85%, and just sort of holding that lead at sort of like 4 or 5 seconds, not doing anything stupid. He's obviously, I don't know, what is he, 20, 21, 22? Like, it's not his first time around the block, and I imagine he wants to get one of these 250 titles.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, good stuff. Well, going to be an intriguing season. So I think, we'll bring it to a close from there, Bradley. Unless you've got much more to add.
No, don't think so. Just hopefully we'll have. Who did you say we got to try and find? We got guests lined up for.
Yeah, we've got a possible guest lined up. Just needs to be cleared up. We got Max is pretty well. Solid for the following week. But we'll get the guest announced when it's confirmed on MX Vice. So still stay tuned to the socials on MX Vice. We'll catch that.
Yeah. So make sure you tune back in next Monday, 8:00. We'll be here.
Absolutely. 8 or maybe 8:30. We'll see how it goes.
8:30. Be ready.
Still very loose. It's still very loose. But
it's a loose program over here.
Nice one. Well, thanks everybody for tuning in and listening. So thanks for Dylan Woodcock for joining us as well. That's great to have him on board, and we wish him all the best with wherever he goes this year. I love the random sort of week to week basis he's taken his season, and we certainly wish him all the best in whatever racing he does, even if it's India or Australia or World Supercross. We'll see how he does from here. But this podcast brought to you by AS3 Performance, the home of aftermarket motocross enduro parts, from hard-wearing protection parts, including skid plates and radiator braces, to performance cooling parts, including silicone radiator hoses and oversized impeller kits. AS3 also have a huge range of brake, clutch, and gear levers, all with different features and adjustability. Check them out online at www.as3performance.co.uk, and it's fueled by Gulf Race Fuels and Armour hydration kits, as Bradley's modelling there, and of course Even Strokes to make sure that they support MX Vice. So please if you're going to buy a kit, buy it from those guys. And what was the special code, Bradley?
Brad Wheeler 10% off anything in online.
Great stuff. So use Bradley's name and get in there, and we'll all be good. So thanks everybody for tuning in, and we will see you. Wednesday is the podcast for the Great British Podcast, and next Monday we will record the Supercross SMX AMA review. All right, then. So cheerio, Bradley.
Cheerio, Bradley.
Thank you.